68 years with ADHD, finally understanding my life. I'm 68 years old and spent most of my life not knowing I was fighting a brain I didn't understand. ADHD shaped every bad decision, every broken relationship, every mistake. And only in the last 6 months did I finally see it clearly. And coming up to that final 6 months is a long story, which we'll get to later on down the track. If you've ever felt like your whole life never quite made sense, this is probably for you. I lived 6 decades in a life that never seemed to work for me the way it did for others. I never thought I was one step behind. In fact, I didn't really think at all. I just functioned. I wasn't going in the wrong direction. There was no direction. I just did life every day, very vaguely. I made impulsive choices. I ended up in the relationships, the wrong relationships that hurt me. Friendships fell apart. I started doing things and I abandoned them. I had so many great ideas, and then there was the next 10 minutes. The guilt ate at me. I felt like a total loser. People thought I was irresponsible, vague, unreliable. I tried so hard to be good, but I kept making a mess. And in fact, the harder I tried, the bigger mess I made. ADHD isn't just about being distracted. For me, it was chaos. Noise in my head. The noise. Static. Loud static. Random memories. Depression. Anxiety. Urgency. Constant urgency. Overthinking. Underthinking. Not thinking at all. Everything at once. It wrecked my consistency in everything but my job, which I'll get down to later. It clouded my judgment. It cost me years, heaps of money, and people I cared about. And the worst part, I blamed myself for all of it. And in a way, I might have been right, because up here wasn't working the way it should. About 6 months ago, after a long journey battling severe alcohol dependence, something shifted. I finally began to understand my mind, and I started seeing the patterns, the why behind the chaos. That journey is a long story, and I'll tell it in following videos. It'll probably take at least a couple of them, because I don't want to put you to sleep. And that moment, that clarity, is something I wish I could give to my younger self, because what a mess it's been. I tell you what I do know now. ADHD isn't a character flaw. It's not a lack of effort or discipline, because I put lots of effort in and I thought I was disciplined. In some cases I was. It's just the brain wired differently. Let's look at ADHD just for a second. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Attention deficit. You have a deficit in your attention, but sometimes you have an abundance in your attention. You can't control either way. I spent most of my life believing I was broken, but I'm not broken. I just never had the manual to this necktop PC. If you're 20, 40, 60 or older, and you feel like life has just been one long uphill battle, or you just think you are where you are because you should be, you're not alone. You're not defective. You're not too late. I'm rebuilding my life at 68, and if I can find clarity after all these years, so can you. This is the start of my journey, and hopefully the start of understanding yours. If you want to hear more about my journey, or if you've walked a similar path, subscribe. Say hello in the comments. I'd love to connect with the people who get it, or who have got it. Cheers.